Hello, I'm Gus Downing, publisher and editor of the D&D Daily, and this is the LP News Network. We're here today with David Johnston, Senior Director, Loss Prevention and Corporate Security for Dunkin Brands, and Mike Loox, CFI Director of Loss Prevention and Safety for the Coffee, Bean, and Tea Leaf. Today's session is entitled The New Face of Fraud, Preventing Loss in a Mobile and Digital Age, and is one that was given here at the NRF Protect Conference. The session description: thanks to the development and adaptation of mobile wallets, loyalty and payment apps, and other digital strategies, consumer mobile and digital use is higher than ever before. But digital engagement presents new challenges for loss prevention professionals in the retail, food, and beverage industries. Fraud, data privacy, and even the ability to investigate faceless criminals in a digital-based environment are all major issues. Join two recognized leaders in fraud and analytics who will guide you through the various methods of digital retail crimes and present strategies to help reduce loss while maintaining consumer loyalty. And with that, I'd like to thank both Dave and Mike for being here today.
Thank you, Gus.
You know, our first question is to both of you. You know, today's payment landscape is changing with the advent of the wallets and all of the various payment types and mobile apps. I mean, how will this continue to affect the retailers and the consumers?
Well, there's definitely going to be a proliferation of new bad actors out there because the new payment landscape has provided opportunities and new loopholes and new avenues to commit fraud and to commit theft against the companies. Also, that we as loss prevention professionals have to create a new investigative model to attack this new age of fraud. It's no longer the single credit card, the single theft, and a single loss and you close a case. Now in the digital environment, these cases can easily become exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger, and you don't know truly when the end of a case is due to the fact that it's faceless crimes through the internet. On the consumer side, it's important for us to educate the consumers about use of digital wallets, use of the loyalty program, and actually prepare them or let them know that, hey, this is a new type of payment, and be prepared to see differences in payment methods and potential opportunities for them to defraud them, because a lot of times consumers believe that we are defrauding them if they find a credit card chargeback after they visit one of my locations, because they make a one-to-one correlation. So we have to change the investigative model and educate consumers, I think, is the most important first step in this new frontier.
Anything to add, David?
No, I think Michael touches upon a lot of it. You know, it's a new shopping experience, and it's one that's really personalized by the consumer. And retailers are looking at providing things, the omni-channel, and now we're seeing omni-payment with wallets, both third party as well as our own individual retailer mobile applications and payment wallets. So it's all about understanding these different forms of payment, being able to work collectively but independently with each of these payment streams, and most importantly, working with our consumers to make sure they understand how they operate, how they work, and what could occur if fraud does.
You know,
Well, I was just going to also add, I also think what we're seeing is with the younger consumers who are the millennials, they're very into the digital payment. They want its speed of service. They want to use their device. I think one of our challenges is going to be with the older consumers who are a little bit more ingrained in their ways and don't want to move to a phone payment and really don't understand. So we're going to have a duality in our consumers where we're going to have a younger consumer who's into it and the older consumer who we want to reassure them and ensure the confidence that you can use your phone and it's going to be a safe transaction.
You know, with multiple forms of digital payments, what does that mean for losses, both in-store and online?
Yeah, losses are going to come at us from multiple directions. Not only from in-store and above store, but from different areas. As we have a very aggressive mobile platform at Dunkin Brands that consists of not only online and in-store purchase and activation and reload of gift cards, but also on our mobile application. Things like our loyalty points program, our DD perks, our on-the-go ordering, and even the mobile application, we have stored value. And that stored value can consist of either gift card value or loyalty points. So again, we're going to start seeing in this mobile and digital environment, losses are going to happen all over the place much quicker, and we have to adapt to that and be able to look and understand how our infrastructure works and what are those breakage points that could actually cause loss.
And I think, along with David was saying, we're already anticipating an increase in losses due to the new mobile payment platforms and the chip and PIN. So what we need to do is, again, is create new strategies to either mitigate it in advance or at least educate my frontline team members that these are the potential fraud opportunities with the new payment methods, and give them new techniques to kind of identify and prevent, or at least report to us in a much quicker way once these incidents occur.
Almost real time.
Almost real time, if not real time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had situations, and David has too, where we'll have a bad actor in a parking lot using the computer, accessing our website, loading up gift cards that they've fished or skimmed off others, and then come right back into the store and use it. So it is real time, not like it used to be.
You know, based on your experience within your company, what are the key elements to help mitigate loss, both financially and with consumer confidence in mobile applications, digital wallets, and new payment strategies?
Well, I think right now what we're doing is we're creating more networks and partnerships with our other competitors and retailers. I think in the loss prevention community, the collaboration is important because we have a level of integrity and confidentiality that I feel that I can talk with David or a counterpart at Starbucks or our direct competitors, versus the marketing and the IT departments and the ops department. They don't have those collaborations with other companies for whatever the strategic business reasons are. But I am comfortable working with other loss prevention professionals to share the information, to work behind the closed doors and unified front together. Just at my presentation yesterday, another retailer had come up to me and said, I think we have the same two people who are hitting you are also hitting us. So now, last night, we started sharing emails and pictures, and we're trying to develop a much larger case that I thought was only coffee bean specific. So it's becoming a very important technique now to get your alliances together and collaborate and work together. So it's definitely coming to a good ending that way.
You know, gift card fraud is just epidemic portions now. There's some retailers, a couple of retailers up in the Northwest that have actually stopped taking or allowing credit card purchases of gift cards of larger amounts, like over $100, whatever it was. I mean, are you finding the gift card fraud prevalent throughout the retail industry yourself as well? I mean, what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think, you know, for us, in being in the food and beverage, that's predominantly our method of commerce or acquisition online. It's the gift cards. You know, we do have some coffee and K-cups that are available, but it's all about the gift cards in our environment. So for us, it's most certainly number one.
And it's also a lower price point, though, in your stores, too. So you may not fall victim to the large-scale organized groups that are really going after the larger numbers.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, from the product itself side, there's only so many coffee and donuts. I guess you can.
But the elements are still the same.
The elements are the same, and the gift cards are definitely increasing. And you know, with the brands such as ours, they're very eager to get those gift cards online at third-party sites and so forth. So we are definitely seeing an escalation over the last couple of years.
Do you think we can really take it to a real-time type of response where the stores and the field LP folks can respond to fraud that quickly, you know, once it's identified as a fraudulent transaction?
We're definitely moving in that direction, because what will happen is if we find a gift card has been compromised, we immediately start looking at, through exception reporting, I can see where that gift card was purchased, and then if that gift card was broken down into smaller denominations. Now in the state of California, you can cash out gift cards once they're at $10 or less. So an example would be somebody would steal a credential, go online, buy a $200 gift card, that would be sent to them. They would take that gift card to stores, break it down into smaller denominations, and then cash those out. So what we're trying to do is, if we get a chargeback, we immediately look at the gift card. If there are active funds on the gift card, we just shut it down. And then if we trace that gift card as part of a larger fraud, we actually shut down each gift card. But the result of that is sometimes a customer does not know that they've been defrauded yet, because gift cards end up in their drawer, or you don't use them. There's billions of dollars of stored value that's out there that nobody is using. So we might have one one incident in January, but one of the victims might not report till November that that gift card has been defrauded. So what we're learning is we're never really closing a case, but we can in real time shut down existing funds that are part of that larger fraud.
Yeah, and there are a number of technologies out there now that that are definitely helping the mobile and the e-commerce side. Retailers have used them quite a bit on their desktop sites, on their standard internet sites, and then they're now starting to come into the mobile environment. But what it's going to take, and as we talked yesterday, is understanding that a few years ago mobile was considered a device.
Right.
Now it's considered a platform. So there are specific elements that you need to bring in to that platform to help you with the mobile and the faster type of fraud. Things like device ID, IP address, and then also taking a multi-layered approach, and this is where you work with your IT department and marketing so that you're trying to get as much of the front end protection as possible. So is it an email to the customer that states your account was accessed through another device? Is this you or is it not?
Right.
So taking some of those proactive steps and those top level preventative steps will help us to kind of push the fraud somewhere else.
Right, right.
And you know, that's a very good point, because I accessed my Gmail from another account and immediately got an email from Google saying somebody has your password, they accessed your Gmail from a different device. But I think another part of that was, to Dave's point, is to register gift cards. We don't register our gift cards yet, so once you purchase a gift card and registered, it's owned by somebody. So we would be able to send an alert out and say, hey, your gift card was just used at this location, not your regular store, or things like that. So one of those important strategies would be to have a program where we are registering gift cards to that individual gift card holder, and that will help remove some of the faceless problems that we deal with when we get impacted by this fraud.
Now, is that managed by the loss prevention team?
No.
Analytics teams, e-commerce fraud? I mean, who manages that notification process?
That would have been managed when that gets implemented through the IT and the loyalty program. Right now, we're working on the fraud side, but also consulting and lending assistance and guidance in the development of our programs. Right now, Dunkin is much more ingrained and technologically advanced in their mobile platforms and their gift cards. What we're trying to do now is recreate our current system and provide a level of stability and consumer confidence, and also not impacting the bottom line from all the potential fraud increases because of mobile play and loyalty. The marketers, everybody looks at the top line sales. Everybody knows the loyalty program increases ticket value, increases customers, but they're not looking at what are we giving away as part of that loyalty program, or how are the abuses impacting shrink, cost of goods, or we also sell French press and high-end glassware in our store. So we have a retail element in our store also. So we have to kind of look at both the food and beverage side and also the retail side.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Does the third party come into play here? I mean, the payment processors, the gift card providers. I mean, does that come into play in the investigative processes? I mean, do they have the investigative know-how and teams and knowledge to be able to assist in these cases?
They do. You know, we have the liability shift now,
right,
with EMV, and you know, they are still helpful. I think we're still trying to figure that out with what's going on with the shift itself and who's responsible. The other part is if we start talking about the mobile wallet platform, you know, that's where it starts coming into a little bit more, let's see where it goes. Some of them have certain things like they have the tokenization. So from the retailer's perspective, do I have the ability to actually get a hold of that original card number, or is that going to be closely kept by the third party?
Yeah.
So will it inhibit our ability to investigate, our ability to fight a potential chargeback?
Right.
So, you know, from my perspective, I think we're still trying to feel that out, and we're doing that with each and every individual player out there in the wallet space.
Difficult and time-consuming.
Correct.
And it also means that chargebacks are mounting, and a lot of which, a certain percentage of which, are unresolved, which means the retailer is absorbing it. They're going to ultimately eat it. They're going to have to.
And what we're doing in that, we work with our third party who's managing our e-commerce and our gift cards, and what we've done is we've created a predictive fraud model in regards to use of gift cards. There are certain criteria that we will see, multiple low-value gift cards being used to make one purchase, ship-to addresses. So what we've done is we've trained them. So usually the third party would kick an email back and say, hey, listen, this looks suspicious, what should we do? Now we've given them 3 or 4 criteria to allow them to on their own shut the order down and then send us an email, because they'll tell you address didn't match, multiple gift cards purchased through 5 different stores, whatever those criteria are. We're confident that they now want to help us and reduce the fraud as much as we do. So we've now created a partnership with our third party, and they're on the forefront of shutting it down before we even get to
Collaboration
it. Yes, again.
For God's sake. So, without asking for confidential information on either company, obviously, and I obviously have to say that, chargebacks. Since the liability shift, October 1st, what is your knowledge, so to speak, of the increase in chargebacks? Just a ballpark number from your industry knowledge of your colleagues around the industry.
I don't think I have a number, but I think we
percentage, anything.
I really don't have a number.
Okay.
I don't think I can tell you. What I can tell you is, Tuesday afternoon we had the executive session here with the NRF, and that question came up with a raise of hands. And if I were to have that percentage of the number of hands, I would say almost all. So I think everybody's being affected by this. There are those that are ahead of the game already with the installation of chip and pin terminals, so they're using the chip and signature features, and there are several that are still waiting for the certification, and there are several that are still waiting to actually implement. So I think we're still trying to figure that out, and it'll be interesting to see when we add up all the numbers at the end of the year.
So how does an LP executive stay relevant in this ever-changing digital marketing and payments world? I mean, how do they stay relevant with it?
I think the first thing is that you have to be a constant learner. You have to get out of your space and start learning about, what are they doing on the processing side. For me, I look outside at things like Digital Transaction Magazine. I talk to some of my peers, Treasury and Payments, to find out what are the things that they look at, the websites, the articles, and think about what's next. Sitting down and talking with IT. And just trying to find out what are they looking at and where are we going, and other departments like marketing. And even when we talk IT, again, in our world, we have so many different platforms, there are different departments. So I could be talking to IT architecture in order to get the actual schematics and data flow to be able to identify the breakage points and possible loss. And then I'm talking to IT security in order to make sure that I understand what we're trying to do from a prevention level.
But why isn't IT security doing that first step that you just mentioned and talking to the infrastructure group in order to identify that for you?
Oh, they are. I can tell you in ours, I'm fortunate enough to have a very good team that allows loss prevention to sit at that table, to be able to look at things right from the planning stages of where we look at going. So, we have a very good cross-functional group of individuals at Dunkin Brands, and we work well together. So when we look at putting together a new program, everybody's looking at it from their own responsibilities, but also their own areas of expertise.
Well, you've got one of the strongest brands out there and a great team. I mean, the analysts love Dunkin', and I mean, so does Wall Street. So congratulations to that.
Thank you. If I can plug it, I hope everybody else does. On the go ordering launched on Monday. So.
There you go. So do you see the relationship between LP and IT security getting closer and closer and closer over the next 10, 15, 20 years? That's my last question.
Yeah, we right now, I think, as David just said earlier about the education and working more, I feel that myself included in the IT working groups and the strategy sessions, and as they're bringing in the different third parties that are going to develop the app and develop the loyalty and revamp the way we're processing our payments, I am now starting to sit in right from the beginning, so I'm educating myself, definitely staying in the present on what's happening in the field, but this is one of the areas that I need to educate myself more. I want to be able to talk the lingo.
Yeah.
I've learned from retail right from the first time I started working at Bullock's in West LA.
I remember them.
I can talk about a blouse being stolen, but if I talk about the blue pattern blouse with the frill on the bottom, or I start naming, they buy into it more. So for me to know the lingo and come across as an expert and understanding what's going on, it makes me more accepting by the others who are like, okay, Mike knows what he's talking about. So we are collaborating much more right now. I think our IT group is understanding the loss prevention need to be part of development, because we've gone through a process now where we're re-looking at how we're doing things, and we're going to improve that greatly by selecting better vendors for our products. So they have to make sure you make that right selection when you're moving into this direction, but also at the same time, the loss prevention team should be right from the first meeting with IT, marketing, operations, and the seniors to ensure that we're not going to have loopholes that could be exploited and abused, as many retailers will be seeing in this first few years of the transition.
So as the stores are learning how to omni-channel, the LP executives have to learn how to do that as well from a risk standpoint. So we're all going through it for the first time together.
Yes,
Bottom line. Well, gentlemen, thanks for being here today.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you for watching, and until next time, let's keep them all safe out there.